Hello and welcome to the Movie Podcast. My name is Daniel, and joining alongside me today are Anthony.
Hello.
And Shabazz.
Buonasera.
How are you guys doing today?
Oh, doing great. Feeling a little tired, but I think that might be just because I had like a weird sleep last night. Not as weird as you though, Daniel.
No, I had a very weird
And
sleep
we're
last
definitely
night.
gonna get to that. But
Yeah.
I just had like a bit of a rocky sleep. But yeah, I think I'll be fine in a bit.
You had a rocket with somebody beating you up in your sleep?
Someone was beating me
Hey,
up.
shit, wake up.
I'm glad you got what I was trying to say.
Okay, just making
Yes.
sure.
It's funny. We all had like trashy sleeps.
Yeah,
Trash,
usually the day before,
I
we
slept in
record.
trash.
Oh, why did you do that?
I
Oscar
don't
the Grouch?
What was wrong with your sleep, Anthony?
I don't know. I just didn't sleep as well as I wanted. You know.
That's a good.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of weird dreams lately, and ever since watching Doctor Strange, I feel like, is this just another version of me in some reality that has to deal with this? So like last night, I had a dream that the three of us were at a movie theater. I feel like we were maybe in Seattle because I was thinking about like The Last of Us a lot, but we were watching Planet of the Apes, right? As one does when there's no Planet of the Apes movie. But as the movie was going on, at a certain moment of the movie, it turned out that this was actually a coordinated attack on humanity from these monkeys or these apes. And they all started attacking. All of a sudden, there were monkeys behind every single person in the theater, and they started attacking them at this specific moment in the dream. And it was really scary. And then it was us just trying to escape the whole time. And like things are, I don't know why things were exploding, but it was just like craziness. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know where to go from here.
I told Daniel that is one of the symptoms of monkeypox. So he's probably got it.
It could be. It could be. I don't know what to say, or I just needed to tell somebody this.
When I heard this dream, I was a little like, man, what a crazy idea for a movie about monkeys. You're watching monkeys take over the world, and then they actually take over the world.
Yeah, like
Right?
that was their plan. These were very smart monkeys in my dream.
That's a really cool movie.
That's like the opening to the next Planet of the Apes film,
Yes.
where they're
Yeah.
trying to make it super meta. Like, oh wow, we just watched Planet of the Apes. They come out and the world is being taken over.
by apes.
By apes.
Yeah, so it was just really strange. So I woke up and it was one of those like usually when I have a dream or a nightmare, I would wake up and it's like time to go. It's like 6 or 7 in the morning. I'm like waking up for the day. But I woke up and it was like 3 o'clock. So I looked at my phone and it was like I had a message from you like the hour previous to that from you, Shay. And I was just like, why did this dream have to, this was the first double feature dream. Like why did this dream have to play first?
This started off. Now, was this a dream or a nightmare for you?
Yeah, honestly, like it felt like a nightmare waking up from it.
Yeah.
But it was also, I remember waking up and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to think this is really stupid in the morning because everything's scarier.
I'm glad you still retained it though.
Yeah, I literally, I was thinking like, should I write this down? I'm like, no, I think I'll remember this. But
Yeah.
luckily, there's probably more stuff that
Do you
happened.
remember your dreams?
I try to.
Yeah.
I'd say like a good chunk of the time, yes, I do remember them. Like enough to kind of be like, yo, guys, this just happened. But last night was nothing special.
No, did you have a dream last night?
I'm sure I did, but they weren't enough to like
Yeah.
retain. They were like,
Anthony
we got a clear
doesn't
memory.
dream.
Anthony
I
doesn't
don't
dream.
Anthony doesn't. Anthony's like, what is it like to have dreams?
Anthony's the only one. In
I
the
know I
universe.
dream, but I just don't.
You don't
ever
remember them?
him.
Yeah, that's sad.
Well,
It's weird,
What can
eh?
you do?
Oh, yeah, weird is what I was gonna say.
Yeah, weird. Weird is the word. No, I'm
Know
kidding.
that you dream but never remember it. That's a little.
What can you do, man?
What can you do?
Well, I'll tell you what you could do. You can listen to a brand new episode of the Movie Podcast every single Monday and watch out throughout the week for our review episodes and all of the latest movies and series. Make sure you follow us at the Movie Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd. And don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, join our Discord, and write into the show at hello@themoviepodcast.ca. Check out our show notes for all of those links and more. We've had a lot of episodes go live in the last couple weeks. And this week, I feel like we're going to break our record of how many episodes we're going to try and give you guys before you're just absolutely tired of
How
us.
many episodes we can add in one day?
How many? We're gonna drop 7 episodes in one day. No, we're not gonna do that.
Damn.
But this is gonna be another busy week for us. We've had a lot of great opportunities to watch some great movies, watch some great shows, and talk to some really cool people. So throughout this week, you'll be able to see all of our interviews and reviews and discussions go live on the feed, including our interview with Angus MacLean, Galen Sussman, and Michael Giacchino of Lightyear, which is a brand new film coming out this week. And I also want to say thank you again to everyone listening to the show who entered into our Buzz Lightyear giveaway to see the film. And thank you again to our friends at Disney for working with us on that giveaway for a chance to win. What else is going on this week, Shay? Anything else? Anything else that I'm missing right now? Merch, things like that?
Merch is definitely one of those things I think you're missing right now.
Yeah.
On top of that, we were going to have some more interviews this week.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Can we say?
I feel like, you know what? Let's leave it to
The monkeys.
The monkeys. leave it for the monkeys. No, let's build some suspense towards
We'll
it.
build some suspense.
Yeah, because I think there's some really cool ones that we have coming up that maybe we'll just surprise drop and just get everyone really
Beyonce
excited.
it?
Well, Beyonce. It's not Beyonce though.
Oh,
it's not Beyonce.
It's not Beyonce?
It's not
I'm
Beyonce.
going to clear these questions I had.
But yeah, please, if you're listening to this episode as soon as it drops, thank you so much. Later today, or what day is it today? Today is June 13th, the day you're listening to this.
Yes.
Monday the 13th.
Monday the 13th.
Scariest day in the world.
Scariest day. At 5 p.m. Eastern time today, you'll be able to check out our review of Lightyear on the Movie Podcast feed on YouTube. Everywhere you listen to our show will be available. Later this week, you could check out our review for Spiderhead. Well, I'm sure we'll have our Obi-Wan Kenobi discussion as well, too, and a lot more stuff
Oh my
happening.
gosh,
So
yeah, we have a lot of stuff.
there's too much happening this week.
Yeah. We're lucky
much
that
stuff.
Miss Marvel episode 2, we already saw it and reviewed it. So
Yes.
we don't have to worry about
So we're just
that.
playing catch up. So now
Yeah.
next week we'll only have 10 episodes instead of
Yes,
30 that we're going to drop this
exactly.
week. No, luckily, it's all great stuff coming. So we're really excited to share it all with you. But without further ado, let's get into the news. Doot. I'm so excited to talk about The Last of Us because it's been a while. There's been rumors, there's been spores in the air.
Oh, God.
Hinting at, is this remake real? Is this happening? And then, of course, we had a little bit of a leak earlier in the day on the PlayStation website with going a bit live early. But let's talk about the growing future of The Last of Us. This is coming directly from the PlayStation blog. Whether you're here following our Summer Game Fest announcements or just catching up on the latest news from the studio, we're excited to share what's in store for the future of The Last of Us. Many of you have expressed how strongly the Last of Us series resonates with you, and we're humbled by the community's outpouring of passion and excitement towards the series' growing and evolving world and characters. Now, we at Summer Games Fest on Jeff Keighley's event, we did see a few different announcements from Naughty Dog, and I think that was more than what we thought. I thought we were just going to get a trailer drop for the remake, and then that was it. But they actually came with a lot of good. So the first thing we'll talk about, standalone multiplayer. So it's no surprise when Last of Us Part 2 came out, we didn't have factions. We didn't have a multiplayer component to that game, which we loved from the first game. So what was said in the PlayStation blog here, it's no secret that many of you are not only drawn to the Last of Us stories, but also the game's original factions multiplayer. Since the Last of Us factions release almost a decade ago, oh my god, dedicated players have been vocal about an expansion upon that offering. We aim to make our newest entry into multiplayer inviting to new players, while still a thrilling challenge for more of our seasoned fans. There will be more news to come next year, and we cannot wait to introduce you to the team behind this new experience. So we're going to have to wait about a year to see some more, but we did see concept footage. Shay, how did you feel about the announcement or the official, I guess, confirmation of there is this new experience coming for The Last of Us? It's not a main campaign, but it is a very much expanded multiplayer.
It definitely gave me vibes of when Naughty Dog was working on DLC for Uncharted 4, and they said, okay, cool, we're going to have this, couple hours of DLC
expansion,
and then it'll be a part of the Seasons Pass, and then it became this whole thing of we started one way, and then we kind of got lost, and then we made a giant game on top of that. And this kind of feels very similar in the vein of we started with a multiplayer, but then we discovered that there's so much we can tell here. And it kind of feels like the standalone multiplayer will have a lot of story elements to it as well. And it looks really cool from the picture that we saw, just the concept art. But I have this weird feeling that it's just going to involve a lot of great crafting, a lot of great hiding skills. Obviously, zombies will be a part of this world too, but you're facing off against other factions. So I think it's going to be very, very cool. I want to see this, it's probably going to be a games as a service, right?
Yeah, so PlayStation did announce that they are going to be having a few different games as a service dropping next year. Within the first or second quarter, and I'm assuming this is going to be one of them because
Right.
the whole thing with The Last of Us, and I think what PlayStation's been doing is that they're really trying to expand their IPs. Obviously, a couple weeks ago we spoke about God of War on Prime, and Horizon on Netflix. They are trying to get these characters into the mindshare of people outside of just the world of PlayStation.
Right.
So I think the multiplayer is a great way of of doing that.
It seems cool.
Was the multiplayer teased before? Like, I don't know. I'm just flashing back to
Yes.
when this game came out that I remember seeing multiplayer, but I guess it never came out.
So we haven't seen it yet, but Neil Druckmann,
Well, they talked about
they
it.
talked about it. So it was
was-
told that it wasn't going to be in part 2, but they were working on a separate
Right.
release for it.
Okay.
Yeah, but like Uncharted had a really fun multiplayer, and I think especially with Uncharted 4, then with Last of Us, I think has some of the greatest feeling gameplay of all time.
100%.
Like I would love to have a world where I'm going back and like playing with that, but keeping the experience fresh as well too, right?
100%. Yeah.
Are you excited for this, Anthony?
I'm not a big multiplayer person, so I'm excited for you guys because I know you guys are playing. Maybe I'll join you.
Yeah, and it's
when it
third
comes
person
out.
too, because I know you don't like first person stuff.
Definitely not.
Well, I'm assuming it's third person.
But
I would assume it's third
Yeah.
person, yeah.
but yeah, that why not?
Yeah.
Yes, I am excited.
no, but I think for myself, like there's very few like multiplayer games that I kind of continuously go back to. But if it's something within a world that I love, then I think that will help me to want to come back to it.
No,
right?
it's
And
true.
It's Naughty Dog.
It's true.
The next thing that they showed off, The Last of Us HBO series. From the onset, the original vision for The Last of Us story was cinematic and character-driven. And HBO enthusiastically continued the spirit of that same vision to bring the story to the TV screens worldwide. Helmed by Craig Mazin, creator and writer of Chernobyl, in tandem with executive producer Caroline Strauss and Neil Druckmann, the incredible cast and crew strove to ensure a faithful retelling of the story and its intricately detailed worlds. The worlds of video games and television continue to overlap as Ashley Johnson and Troy Baker, Ellie and Joel, in-game actors respectively, join the cast in major roles, which I thought was really cool. I wonder who they're playing.
Clickers.
They think they're playing clickers? Is that a major roles though?
I feel like it'll be
Clickers are
like
major.
But like, are there going to be a clicker that continuously chases them throughout the show?
Yes. It's a
one
name.
evil clicker
And he talks.
just pulling out shivs from his neck.
Yeah.
I think it'll be like I can imagine Ashley Johnson playing like Ellie's mom or something.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I don't know if Troy Baker would play the dad, but like I could see something like that, maybe flashbacks or in some sort of capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. That makes sense.
We got our first look too, so we had the picture come out, and it was very dark, and it was just it was Joel and Ellie, Pedro Pascal, and
Yeah.
Bella Ramsey hiding, and then the sleuths of the internet were like, yeah, let's turn up enhance,
brightness.
and then we're like, oh god, there's a giant clicker behind them.
Right.
I know how scary these clickers and the infected are in the games. I am terrified to see what they look like in real.
They're gonna be horrifying in the game and in the movie. Sorry, in the show. Whoa,
the show.
How many things are there? In the
just
card
the
game.
show, just the
In
show,
card
just the
game.
show. When do you think when do you think this is going to actually happen? When are we seeing this?
This
Like
is
like the show premiere
Yeah.
or like a tease, like a trailer. Or
I think we'll get a teaser this year.
we will.
I have a feeling we'll get. Well, I think we have to get a teaser this year. Maybe
Sometime in
on
the fall.
maybe on Last of Us Day in September.
Yeah.
we'll get our first look at that. When do you think the premiere is?
I'm gonna say
They just wrapped filming,
you
by
just
the
said
way.
There's a teaser in the fall.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was gonna say like we're gonna watch this by November, December.
Oh,
Well,
no,
I think
no.
it's confirmed for next year, though.
Is it confirmed?
Confirmed for next
It's
year.
good for
Yeah.
next year. Yeah.
So probably March.
I was going to say March as well.
March to May is kind of where I'm sitting with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, HBO usually has like, when I think of like some of their spookier things that have come out, like March is a good spot for it, and I think the Last of Us dropping in March would be a good spot for that show.
I think so too.
I can't wait for this. Like, I think Pedro Pascal is going to be so good as Joel
yeah.
and Bella
How many
Ramsey as well too.
seasons do you think this series will go?
Oh man,
Because we know the story of Joel
Yeah.
and Ellie. So where do you think this season starts and ends?
well, I think this season is going to end. Yeah, that's a good question. Like, honestly, I think the season is going to end where the first game ends, right?
Okay.
You would think,
Okay.
unless it's really spaced out and we're like, oh, we're not even going to get to the hospital till season 2, which I don't think they'll do. I think the first season will be the first game.
I think it'll be the first game. Yeah.
But I think there's so much opportunity because what is the gap between 1 and 2? Is it 5 years, 6 years?
Something like that. Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of room there to tell these stories as well too, and kind of get them to Jackson and get them talking and introducing these other characters like Dina and all these other characters from the
I'm
the show.
forgetting
Right?
Dina's boyfriend's name.
That's I literally was about to look up too.
Oh man, it is. It's
Literally it's right on the tip of my.
It's like I see the name right there. Like
Jesse.
that's it.
Jesse, yeah.
I'm like, is it James?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesse.
But there's a lot of opportunities to introduce these characters and let them grow before we get to the events of The Last of Us Part 2, which I'm assuming this show will eventually want to cover, right?
I would hope so.
I'm excited,
Yeah.
man. Oh my gosh. It's so cool. And then finally, the last big announcement of the day, The Last of Us Part 1. The Last of Us released almost a decade ago, which is crazy to think because I remember going to the store to buy that game.
Yep.
And just it doesn't feel like that was 10 years ago almost, which is weird. Almost a decade ago on the PlayStation 3 console, and it left an undeniable mark on the studio. And what is that? So
Indelible?
indelible mark on the studio. I'm sorry, I was reading that fast. Joel and Ellie's story continues to be powerfully evocative with players worldwide, and we're humbled by these characters. Continue to leave an impression. With leaps in technology and hardware that allows us to push the limits of the visual fidelity and interactivity, we're thrilled to announce this complete remake of The Last of Us, releasing September 2nd, 2022 for PlayStation 5 console and in development for PC. Another PlayStation game coming to PC, which is no surprise, which is great, getting more audiences in this. How are we feeling about... first of all, I love that they're adding part 1 to this because it's making it feel like this more cohesive between 1 and 2. And if we're going to get the gameplay of 2 now available in 1, Anthony, how are you feeling about doing this? And are you excited to jump back to this world again?
Yeah, with the graphics alone, they've taken the engine that they've used for part 2 and implemented into part 1, which they did a before and after type of thing, and it looks so much different.
They look like real
So
people
much
now,
different.
which
They
is
look
crazy.
So and that game was great on its own.
Yeah.
And what we've seen with this remaster or with this revision of part 1, it's like blowing you out of the water, man. It's crazy.
It's nuts, especially the fact that it's in real time now, like
Yeah.
those cutscenes.
Yeah. But I didn't play the game right away. I played the remastered version, which came out for I think PS4.
PS4 the year later, yeah.
Yes.
Which I think a lot of people played that way
Because
too,
I was
right?
a little hesitant to get into Last of Us because it was the zombie game, and I was scared to play it in a sense. Like I just not scared that I was frightened, but like I didn't want to play a game where it was so challenging that I wasn't gonna have fun.
Right.
Until you guys said you should play it, and it's not what you think it is, and that's when I played the remaster. And that was about, I want to say 4 years ago that I played, and
Yeah.
now they're remastering again, but even better. I wish it was just an included bundle with my remaster. Now I have to buy it again.
Right. When it comes to games like this, I think at least we're so used to a certain quality of Naughty Dog that even when whenever we're done playing like a PlayStation Studios game or even just like a Naughty Dog game in general, like I find it so hard to just pick up another game because I'm like, man, like you want that same type of polish and experience, right? This looks amazing. Like when they showed this trailer off, and it looks the way you remember it looking, and then you actually see what it actually looked like back in the day, and you're just like, oh my god, like.
Yeah.
It's like it looks. That's how you
It's a different
want it to
art
look
style
like.
altogether,
Yeah.
you know? Like the art style from The Last of Us Part 2 gave it a bit more of a grounded, no pun intended, look.
Right.
Like where it just felt like the shading of the characters were more about realism, this guerrilla warfare style look that they had. Whereas the first game, it was very like cell shaded a little bit. Like there was elements of
I had to stylize a little bit,
you know?
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that now the DNA looks the exact same from part 1 to part 2.
Yeah.
And it's amazing the technology they use to capture their animation, because they didn't have to go and recapture their acting.
No.
Right? So they developed a program where it was able to capture what they did in the original and put it into the updated
That engine and
visuals,
everything, right?
which is, it's a lot of work when you really think about it.
It is, yeah.
It's not like something that you could just press a button to do.
Yeah, it's not like, and I think that's the thing, when you see like whatever negativity come out whenever there's some type of an announcement, I think people assume that it's like, oh, right click and save as PS5, and it's like it's not.
No.
That is not how game development works, and game development is so expensive. So it's like, especially when you look at the caliber of Naughty Dog, it's like that doesn't just happen. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like even this remake, this probably took them years to to work on and to finish and to polish and make sure it's going to live up to that caliber. Now with part 1 officially being announced for PS5, there's no way in hell part 2 is staying on PS4, right?
No.
We got to get part 2 on PS5
We got to get
eventually.
part 2 on PS5. Yeah, a director's cut or something.
Do you think so? I would love to see like a director's cut with like Tommy DLC. Like imagine like we get like a story where it's like Tommy from Jackson going to Seattle, and we got to get that in between time.
What was
right?
happening? Yeah,
We get him with Jesse, and then him going up against Abby as well too. Like
Yep.
there's a lot you could do there. Or even if it's just you know what? Now here's a PS5 version available. I'd be cool with that too, just because I want the haptics, I want the fast loading, I want all of the goodies that come with being on the PS5. Right?
I was surprised not to see an announcement for a PS5 version of Last of Us Part 2. It just seemed like that was the easier say in this whole thing.
Yeah, it's like this one's already like
it's already was for the PS4, and
and it's 60 frames already. Like they
Right.
have the updates out, so you would assume it would be lesser of a thing than remaking the first game.
Yeah.
But I think with the show coming out, they want to have this series available on the newest platforms.
Right.
So I think having a remake of 1 where it looks like 2 is great, and you're going to have 2 eventually come to PS5. And I think the reason why maybe it's taken a bit longer is because maybe they are planning to do a little bit more with it, and that's why we haven't seen it yet, right?
You hope so.
yeah. I think
Because
right now that's the focus.
Because you heard Neil said that he is working on something that he cannot talk about. So either that's part 3 of the world that we're Last of Us, or there's more to part 2 that he'll be adding. 2.5.
Do you think we see The Last of Us Part 3?
Yes.
I want to say yes. I really do. I feel like that loud voices of the internet that really shit on part 2, which I think is so dumb stuff.
Very small but loud.
Small but loud. I really hope that didn't influence any change, because the
I hope
game
not.
still did, gangbusters. It did
Yeah.
about 10 million copies. So that's phenomenal.
I think about that game almost every day.
100%.
It's so good.
100%. That game was flawless from top to bottom. So I hope we see a part 3. I'm wondering what story could they tell.
Yeah.
You want a reason to come back to part 3. Part 2 was like The Godfather 2. They gave us a story that we didn't know we needed, and they kept expanding it.
Yeah, they expanded it. They told us the backstory, and then we got to learn more about these characters
The
and with
world is
Abby and everything
rich
too.
in part 2. Like the
Yeah.
Seraphites, like that sequence alone when you first meet them. I think about that all the time, because it feels like you can avoid the staged elements of that gameplay, but you always end up the same way. You hear that whistle, you hear that,
that is like
you hear
that
bow.
arrow. Like, oh my god!
It plays out the same way almost
Yeah.
every time, but it's just crazy the way it does.
And I think that's what's so special about whatever I'm going to call it factions, but whatever the multiplayer is going to be, I think that's where we're going to see maybe an expansion of those worlds, right? With the
Right.
Seraphites, with the wolves, like there's a lot. Probably more, right? So we're going to be seeing different, literally factions of those characters within the multiplayer world that you could tell these stories, right? It looks like it's taking place in San Francisco as well, too.
From what it looked like, yeah.
So there's a lot to look forward to, and I think the next year alone, we're going to have a lot of Last of Us to look forward to, and it's crazy to think that just 10 years ago, it started off as one game, and now here we are in the games, we're having a multiplayer game, we're having sequels, we're having an HBO show, and then who knows where it goes from here. Yeah, Sony's on the ball right now with how they're managing their properties and expanding them to streaming services and everything, so a lot to look forward to. Number 2 this week, Joker sequel has a script, reveals director Todd Phillips. This is coming from Aaron Couch of The Hollywood Reporter. The team behind Joker is ready to laugh it up once again, with filmmaker Todd Phillips officially confirming he has completed a script for a sequel to his Oscar-winning 2019 film. Phillips shared a cover page of the script co-written by Joker collaborator Scott Silver, along with a photo of star Joaquin Phoenix reading the pages. Phillips also revealed the working title for Joker, Folie à deux, a reference to the medical term for a mental disorder that affects 2 or more individuals. Phoenix earned a Best Actor role for his role as Arthur Fleck, a troubled man who evolves into a folk villain type figure by the end of the story. Joker earned $1.07 billion globally, a staggering sum for a film that had a relatively modest budget by comic book movie standards. Shay, how do you feel about us potentially looking like we're getting a sequel to the Joker now. What story could they tell now?
I'm curious. Like, I mean, I really like Joker. I thought it was a great film. It still blows my mind that it made $1.7 billion.
Never underestimate the power of Joker. That movie made so much money.
It's crazy how much money it made.
And there was a lot of controversy around it as well too, coming out.
Yeah.
And again,
there's so much about
people.
that film.
People love making fun of that movie, but it's a great movie.
Yeah,
It's a good movie, but it's not the Joker people want to see in theaters.
I don't. Is it? Obviously, it
Clearly
is
they did,
because
though.
they did.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's where I'm shocked that this is the Joker people
Yeah.
wanted in
Yeah.
theaters.
Because this is it's like a character study, right? It's literally like the
Exactly.
king of comedy. And I think
Yeah.
maybe people wanted something different with the Joker.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of jokes you can make about it. Todd Phillips, who's best known for his comedies like Hangover and the one with they're in college. Oh my god, what's it called? Nice Guys, Old Guys.
Old guys?
No.
Old school.
Shit, man. Why am I
Yeah.
calling it some dumb name? Old school. What a
Old school.
great
Kicking
film.
it old school.
Yeah. And to get to the Joker was such an interesting pivot for him. And that film always gets compared to every Martin Scorsese movie out there.
Yeah.
And it very obviously is, inspired.
It's kind of like Craig Mazin, right, with Chernobyl.
Correct.
Yeah.
But at least like Todd's career was great. Like he had good movies.
Yo, yeah. No, it's just interesting.
No,
what
but
a pivot.
the pivot that
what
there
a
was.
pivot, yeah.
And so I'm curious where we'd go with the sequel. If it's about two people, maybe it's Harley Quinn.
Maybe. I was thinking, is that like the duality of him and Arthur Fleck and Joker?
Do we finally start to see hints of Batman because you see Bruce? Like, where did they take this world? Did we ever see a Batman in this world?
I don't know, and that's where I'm so confused. I feel like the movie ends where this could so easily just spin: is this inside of his mind, or did this really happen? There's like that ambiguity to
Yes.
it, right? We're like, is this a real life or is this a fantasy? You know what I mean?
Is this the
So who knows? Like, who knows where they could go with it? Because isn't a sequel just? I don't want to go again with Todd Phillips' history, Hangover 2. I just don't want Joker again.
the same thing?
You know what I mean? So it's like you have to have some type of something happening. Is he the clown prince of crime now? Like, what is he, Anthony?
I just can't picture that Joker to be the clown prince of crime.
Yeah, same.
He seems just like this crazy dude.
Yeah.
Who kills De Niro's character, right, and starts kind of like this little revolution. But I don't think he's that Joker. But we were talking about it when we watched it. This could lead him to becoming the Joker that we know. But
Yeah.
I can't envision. I can't see it.
Or inspiring a Joker later, right?
It's too real. It's too grounded in that sense.
It's
to
true,
be
yeah.
This extreme character, that psychopath
Mm-hmm.
that becomes a murdering. Because even though the Joker that we saw was a little bit more empathetic to the people that are around him, except the ones that hurt him, he
Right.
really kind of hurt them. But the Joker that we know, he's just no rhyme or reason.
No empathy, zero empathy.
He's
Just
chaos. He'll
yeah.
kill just because he wants to. And I can't see that Joker in Joaquin Phoenix.
yeah.
And in this Todd Phillips script.
Yeah, I'm just so interested to see where this goes. Maybe we see, if this is taking place inside of Arkham, and it's like Harley Quinn as his psychiatrist, like we've seen in the comic books and the shows, and like maybe it's like that story, and then it's her
plays Harley
descent,
Quinn, if you were to,
Margot Robbie.
right?
She's back again.
She's back again, and she's in the 80s now.
yeah.
Different
She's
multiverse.
ageless.
But that's what's really interesting, right? Like you also have a Margot Robbie who is very iconic as Harley Quinn, and it's
Yeah.
like, are you going to go down this route? Are you going to introduce a Harley Quinn to this world, or is this more of a thing of it's the Joker? He has a kind of the dual identity type of thing, and there's a lot of ways.
Or
they could
is
go
that
with
like
it.
a reference sorry, to a are they saying that maybe this one has the antagonist in it as well? Maybe we get like a Batman like character, maybe someone in Gotham who was a crime fighter before, because obviously Bruce Wayne's a bit too young,
bit too young? Yeah,
right? So even like, are they saying that is the second person that also has a mental disorder because they're trying to humanize both Joker and whoever this other
could be.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's so many ways they can kind of take this.
It's really interesting. Again, I'm curious to see how much money this movie's going to make again too. Like, I think because the first one made a lot of money, it also had a lot of controversy around it and a lot of people interested. is this one going to also carry that going into it? We spoke about the Joker a lot in our first year of our show. So yeah, I'm really interested to see where this is going to go. Any other final thoughts on Joker before we move on? We're okay. Forever hold your peace.
Yeah.
All right, let's go into another superhero character, Spider-Man: No Way Home. The more fun stuff version added and extended scenes to swing into theaters in September. This is coming from Tom Tapp of Deadline. In celebration of 60 years of the Spider-Man comic book character and 20 years of Spider-Man films, Sony announced today that a fan cut of its massive hit Spider-Man No Way Home, dubbed Spider-Man No Way Home, the more fun stuff version, will hit theaters this Labor Day in US and Canada with added and extended scenes. Other countries will be added soon, according to a post on Sony's social media. Domestically, Spider-Man No Way Home is the third highest grossing movie of all time. The film is the sixth highest grossing title worldwide, with a running total of over 1.8 billion. Maybe the re-release will push it over 2 billion. Even more remarkable, it will have gotten there without a release in China. What is this release?
I don't know, man. Like, I think I messaged that in our chat. Like, what are they going to show that we don't know and what we haven't seen? And I feel like it's a gimmick to get people into the theaters, to give them more money.
To try and push it past 2 billion?
Push that 2 billion. But it's just, at this point, you own it. They should have been an add-on feature. Why are you making people buy it, pay more? But again, people will because they love this film so much. I feel like, Daniel, you would pay to watch this movie.
I mean, I'm depends what it is though, right? I feel like when it comes to stuff like this, I'm of the mindset where it's like, well, in director's cuts in general, I'm like, well, usually the stuff that you wanted to have in the movie made it into the movie.
Right.
So is there just like some fun extended scenes or just some fun
That's
maybe
what I feel like it is.
little
Like,
clips here and there that maybe got trimmed for timing and then put into this release?
do you remember the Avengers Endgame re-release?
Yeah.
We got that really weird
Hulk
unfinished
scene?
CGI
Yeah.
Hulk scene.
Yeah.
Weird. But like that wasn't also like they didn't re-release that as a whole new thing. They were just like, oh,
It was still in theaters. Yeah.
but we're adding a little extra.
Yeah,
thing
it's on
for
a
it,
couple
yeah.
more screens now than
Yeah, it's
before.
like, oh, okay, cool. This is what I found weird about this whole thing. First of all, was just the fact that it's in September. Like, why are you promoting it this early? It just feels like a weird thing to start promoting this early.
Yeah, it feels like something that would be like, oh, next week in theaters,
Yeah.
there'll be Spider-Man No Way Home
Because
again.
we already have the movie at home to watch, so we're not like itching to get back in the theater to see it again.
Yeah.
Give me that incentive like closer to the date, maybe.
Yeah.
Give me more than just what you've shown us.
September is such an interesting time for this movie to come out. Why not August or July? Just
Yeah.
it's so weird. It's just a weird marketing thing.
It
It's
is.
just Sony trying to. I get it. They're trying to make more money, get that $2 billion.
I think it's just something that they're just like, there's a strategic date and they had in mind. They're like, let's put this in September. Let's get in because Labor Day weekend, there's probably a increase of families going to the theaters and they're going to maybe want to watch this.
What's coming out that week?
I don't think there's really too much anything Labor Day weekend that opens up usually. But yeah, it's a really interesting decision to see this movie coming up. Are you looking to see if there's anything, Shay?
I am. So Labor Day weekend right now. Oh, wow. We got a big one.
What is it?
Honk for Jesus, Save Your Souls coming out.
Hung for Jesus?
Honk.
Oh, I'm like hung for Jesus.
Damn.
Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul.
Wait, Spider-Man thinks it can compete against that?
Yeah.
Spider-Man thinks it can compete against Jesus?
I don't think it can fight for Jesus' spot.
Spider-Man versus Jesus, Labor Day weekend.
But I don't know what is Sterling K. Brown's in this, man.
He's in Honk for Jesus?
He's in Honk for Jesus.
Does he play Jesus?
He plays. I don't know who he plays. This is an interesting. I gotta look into.
We
this,
really
man.
don't know the synopsis. Of the
I gotta look
story.
into this because this is
But,
this is something.
What I wanted to say is, do you think we get more multiverse elements added to this story? Like, remember the sequence where they were looking up in the sky and you see all these villains of Spider-Man?
Yeah.
kind of like breaking
We see
through?
Aaron Taylor Johnson up there like, I'm Craven. Hello.
Do you think we'll see more of that stuff? More breakthrough stuff? Or do you think it's just little, Peter in school? He's dealing with this identity.
40-minute math scene that he's
Yeah.
doing. Yeah.
I honestly think this will have more footage of the three Spider-Man together. and maybe just have
the
them.
comedy between them. Like
Yeah,
the
just them have
conversations.
like them riffing.
Like right before the big battle happens, where they're just kind of riffing on the roof.
Yeah, like, I think we'll see more things like that. Yeah, this is really interesting. Again, I'm just more curious what it is.
How long is the cut that we got?
Almost
232.
Yeah, it's like 2.5 hours.
And
So it's
we don't know how long this new cut will be.
not that I've seen.
233.
Could you imagine?
Extra minute, I believe.
And they just
We're
added
putting in a full 60 seconds.
60
So
seconds.
it was 2 hours 28 minutes.
2:28. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one's probably gonna be 229 or 230.
Yeah. I wouldn't be
Could you imagine?
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
I hope not.
I hope not.
I hope
Also,
not.
but I also hope I feel like where they're gonna extend some of the scenes, it'll be like Peter in school. They'll probably extend the interrogation scenes with all of them.
Right.
Give us a couple more jokes.
Who knows? Who knows? We'll see what happens.
We'll
see.
see. They removed the Spider-Man.
Morbius comes
What
in.
they remove Morbius comes in.
Morbius comes in.
They remove Toby and Andrew. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
yeah,
Is
they
that
remove
just
them,
Tom?
and it's just two Jared Leto's as Morbius.
Yep.
who are gonna fight alongside him.
It's Morbin time. Number 4 of this week, in our last major news story, we'll be talking about Nev Campbell exits Scream 6 over pay. This is coming from Ethan Vlessing of The Hollywood Reporter. Nev Campbell says she won't be in the new Scream sequel after she received an inadequate offer to star in the slasher franchise's 6th installment. She says, "Sadly, I won't be making this the next Scream film. As a woman, I have had to work extremely hard in my career to establish my value, especially when it comes to Scream. I felt the offer that was presented to me did not equate to the value I have brought to the franchise," Campbell said in a statement obtained by The Hollywood Reporter. Paramount and Spyglass have planned a sixth installment of the horror franchise after a successful 5th chapter debuted earlier this year. "It's been a very difficult decision to move on. To all my Scream fans, I love you. You've always been so incredibly supportive to me. I'm forever grateful to you and to what this franchise has given me over the past 25 years," Campbell added to her statement about not returning to Woodsboro. Anthony, how are you feeling about Nev Campbell not returning?
It's pretty sucky news. Nev is part of this franchise, and you always want to see her because she's the Luke Skywalker of this universe.
Yeah.
So you always want her to be part of it, and for it to be about money and the studio not giving her what she believes she should be making, it's a sucky situation.
It is,
because it taints the franchise in a bit because it's her franchise, and when you don't see your franchise star because of money, it's always tough to swallow it.
Yeah, you're definitely. This is definitely a story that I don't think Paramount and Spyglass wanted to have
Definitely not
out there, and I think hopefully this will give her a little bit more bargaining chips to be like, yeah, people want me back in this movie. Can you make this right? Shay, how are you feeling about this?
You know what? We discussed things like this during when Black Widow was coming out, and we kept saying about Scarlett Johansson, get your bag, girl.
Yeah.
Get your money. And I think same thing with Nev, get your money, girl. You deserve it. You have been the face of this franchise. You're the Jamie Lee Curtis to this, as in Halloween. So yeah, for sure. My only concern is in the last Scream film, to get Nev's character to really show up was. It wasn't a stretch, but it was like, okay, cool. We're bringing her back in. We're bringing back in Sidney Prescott. Okay, I'm just curious, how many times can they keep pulling that same thing? In every film so far we've gotten her, how many times are they going to keep doing this? Is the writing going to be on a crux of just getting Sidney back in the story, right, or can we now finally move on from it? Again, I would love to see her. I want her to come back, but I also don't want them to not evolve beyond the character, because it's hard to kind of keep shoving her back into it.
It's true. Yeah, you're so right. I mean, this is going to be the 6th entry to this franchise, and you're like, okay, how many times can you keep getting roped into this and not be like, okay, maybe it's me. Maybe maybe it's my fault.
Just kill myself.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I wish, with these films, and again, I think that's part of the joke of the series of it going on this long, is that they always find a way to come back no matter what they do. But you also want to have a natural ending point for a lot of these characters as well, too, right? We got that for Dewey? Huey? What's his name?
Dewey, yeah.
Dewey, yeah. In the last film, and I don't think he's coming back.
I would be surprised if he came back. He would look like a shish kebab, to be honest with you.
But again, who knows? Or is Courtney Cox coming back? She said she's read the script. I think she's coming back.
I think for Scream to continue its like its franchise, it needs to reboot itself. It needs to like get like
Is this Scream in Italy like you were saying before, or Scream in
just,
Europe?
like,
Scream in Italy.
Just, start over type of thing. Like,
And I think that's kind of what they did with this new cast, right?
Killer again, but like not in Woodsboro. No, Sidney Prescott. No more Dewey and that stuff. Like, just it's all gone. Like, it's a new universe with a character that resembles Ghostface, and you can continue Scream that way. Because if you continue, like, you're right. Where does this series go? Where does this movie go? Does Sydney have to die? Eventually, she will have to.
Right.
But do you want that? Is that like the only way to end her
No.
her time in this?
Give her a happy ending, you know?
Right? She's already gone through six versions or five
Five,
versions
yeah.
of this.
How many
killer.
times has she been stabbed? A lot.
A lot.
I feel like, just having to kill kids has got to take some toll on you.
Sorry, one more time?
Well, she's killing kids if you think about
Oh,
it.
yes,
right?
yes.
She's
yes.
not. They're not adults, really. They're
No,
like
no.
high schoolers.
It's true.
Very true.
Yeah.
Except when, I guess, when they're in college and
Yeah, sorry, when they're in college. Yeah,
College
they're
kids is
still-
okay.
like the
But
second
there's-
one
yeah.
was the mom, right?
Yeah,
So
and yeah,
she was in the kid
yeah, and Timothy Oliphant.
who was college. So
Yeah, he
he's
was
an
in college.
adult. And third one,
What a handsome man, by the way.
fourth one, yeah, there was kids. Yeah, a lot of kids, a lot of dead kids.
A lot of dead
well,
kids.
3 had adults and kids. Well, because the brother, he's an adult.
Yeah,
And then the fourth one, actually, the third one was only adults because it was the brother and the girl. Or was it just the brother? I can't remember now. It was
The
just the
fourth
brother.
one?
Third one. Third one was
one?
just the brother,
It was
right?
just I believe it was a brother.
Yeah.
Correct
And-
us if we're wrong.
Correct us if we're wrong, Scream fans. And then the fourth one was, kids.
Kid, they definitely.
Oh,
were
and
kids.
we're getting Hayden Panettiere coming back.
Yes,
Kirby
yes, we are.
in this new one as well. So
Yeah.
she was a fan favorite from Scream 4, and we found out her fate in Scream 2022. So yeah, I guess we'll be seeing her again.
We'll see what happens. I think at the end of the day, just tell us a good story, give us some good kills in the movie, and I think that's
we
all
loved
we need.
this year's Scream, the 2022.
I had a great time with this
I
year's
was
Scream.
okay with it.
Yeah, you hated it. I remember.
It's not
No,
that
anything
I
like
hate
it. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
kidding.
It's
I'm
like,
just kidding.
I don't know. I didn't feel frightened enough from it.
Maybe you should watch in 40X. They have a real guy running around.
Chasing us around the theater.
In
Were
40X.
they monkeys?
They were monkeys.
There were monkeys?
Monkeys with
Monkeys
knives.
with
Monkeys with knives. Oh
Knives.
god.
That's a
Chipmunks
movie-
on planes and
that's a
monkeys with
movie-
knives,
yeah.
man.
That's a movie we got to write one
Dude,
day.
Netflix is already writing.
Netflix is like,
They're
can we
like,
buy
yeah,
it?
Go on.
Go on, tell us more. Some quick updates this week. Ghostbusters animated film in development, Afterlife sequel set in New York City. Interesting that it's an animated film and it's a sequel to Afterlife. Why isn't it a live action film? I don't know. Julia Garner offered Madonna role and Universal biopic. Did you also know Madonna's directing this, by the way?
I did know that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Wild.
Wild. She looks a lot like Madonna, though. Like
She
I was
does.
seeing
Not
that.
now.
No, but there was a side. No, not now.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
You see
then-
Madonna now. It's
yeah.
like
Why does she look like a 20-year-old woman?
That picture that keeps going around of her wearing
With
the
like the curlier hair.
or the stocking on her face.
Oh, that picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I was meant of Julia Garner.
Oh, sorry.
it does,
that
Yeah.
one.
it does look like her.
She
yeah.
does. She looks like a young Madonna. I could see that. I'm glad it's not Florence Pugh. Even though she would have
Right.
eaten the roll up, I think Florence Pugh.
We need some other people now
Yeah.
to
But
shine.
Madonna's directing it.
I don't know what to
Madonna
expect.
I don't think she's a good
Directing
actress.
herself is a little bit biased. if
Yeah.
You know.
Like I always think back to, Bohemian Rhapsody and how all the producers were basically the bandmates and they were all clean as fuck, these guys. They didn't do any drugs. They were like
Right.
donating their kidneys.
Yeah.
I
And you get Rocket Man, and it's like, let's do it.
Yeah,
And then-
and that one had involvement from Elton John. But
yeah,
Elton
he was
John's
part of
a
it. He's
real-
like,
I was fucking doing this and I was doing that.
I was that. I was doing coke, and I was sleeping with a bunch of people. Like, yeah, show that shit because that's who you are.
I
We
feel
know
like Madonna
that.
would showcase her, like, because she is a
I think so, too.
provocative artist, right? But I just don't.
Do you see her making out with Britney at her wedding too?
No, I
They
didn't see
recreated
that.
the kiss.
That's funny.
At her
just
Britney's
don't
wedding.
see Madonna directing her own movie. 'Cause
Yeah.
I just when you direct your own film, you are biased to yourself, and there's a vulnerability there that cannot be
Yeah.
pulled from.
But
yourself.
also, just like Madonna's not a director.
She's not direct, she's directed like what, 2 films, 3 films?
Yeah, but it's like if you want something like cool, like I feel like you need to give it into like a capable director's hands, right, and work with
100%.
them, right?
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Box office this weekend. Shay, did you? Do we have new numbers? I
I've
just
been
saw
looking-
Eric. I just saw Eric Davis tweet.
He did tweet it?
Yeah, and it looks the exact same for
I
what
just
we
saw it
have in the
come out right
doc.
now. Yeah, it just came out.
Jurassic World Dominion, $143 million opening. Top Gun Maverick made about $50 million this weekend, which is about a 44% drop from its last week, and it's also amongst the top 10 highest grossing third weekends in domestic box office history. Do you have some more news for us on
I'll
Jurassic?
give us some more facts on that. So thank you for that, Daniel.
No worries.
But Eric Davis from Fandango, with Jurassic World dominating 143 million to win the weekend, that is the third highest opening for a Jurassic film. Only 5 million less than Fallen Kingdom, and is the best opening for a non-superhero film since 2019. It is the best domestic opening for Universal in 2022, and the highest since 2018's Jurassic. More Top Gun Maverick takes in 50 million in its third weekend for a total of 393 million domestic. It is now only 4 million behind Doctor Strange, which is in its sixth weekend. Within the next few days, Top Gun Maverick will surpass Strange and become 2022's biggest film domestically.
Wild.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, what happened to Strange?
No, but it's domestic, right? So
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
But that's amazing. That's amazing. I
I
think
can't believe it slowed down that much.
because it came out early May, right?
Yeah, but man, Top Gun's got wings.
Top Gun's got wings, man. It's great. I think Top Gun, how good it is, has taken the world by storm.
Yeah.
It also helps that I think the barrier to entry for it is one film, and you're also getting the older generation coming back to the theaters, right?
Yeah.
Where with the Marvel films, it's a lot more of a younger crowd that goes.
Oh yeah, I saw a lot of Canes in my screening.
So you saw a lot of
of
Canes.
Canes.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah, you're getting a generation of movie watchers coming to the theaters that aren't always there. When I saw it the second night, it was full. Or I saw it opening night technically because we saw our press screening. Opening night, there were men in their 40s and 50s wearing flight suits.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my god, this. Again, Top Gun was such a phenomenon back in the 80s.
Yep.
That's a little too much.
Yeah, but now it is here. You're telling me if I give you a flight suit, you wouldn't wear it to a screening?
No.
Dude, what if I had your call sign on it?
What if the screening was in the sky?
No.
What if it was? What if
Screening's in the sky?
But what if you were going to ride in an F-18?
And I'm watching the movie?
Yeah.
But I'm in the movie at that point.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
so
so-
you're telling me you're not going to wear the flight suit?
I would wear the flight suit if
Okay.
I'm in the plane, not at the theater.
Come on, dude.
There we have it. Breaking news. Anthony would wear a flight
I'm
suit.
making
Anthony-
sense. That's,
yeah.
that's Anthony's
Oh,
breaking
yeah.
news.
Worldwide, Top Gun Maverick. This has not opened yet, but it's going to hit. This isn't updated yet. Sorry, but it's going to hit 700 million this week.
That's crazy.
Good for Top Gun Maverick, man.
wild
What a
nuts.
great movie.
Yeah.
I want to watch it again.
Yeah.
I really want to watch it again.
We have now seen it in IMAX in 40X.
Yeah.
40. We should talk about our 40X experience.
We did.
Anthony,
That's what we felt.
It was your first time with 40X. I remember you were launched into the screen at a certain point. Yeah.
It's an interesting experience. At the end of it, I don't think I buy into it.
Right.
I just find it too gimmicky. But it's pretty cool in the sense that it has the wind, it has the water, it has the seats that move, it
Yeah.
has like the punch in the back.
Yeah, there's a lot of punches in the back. Like, ow, that kind
I
of
didn't
hurt.
expect
I wonder
that.
what like a martial arts film would be like.
You're just
You're-
you go
just
home
leave it
bruised.
bruised.
You just got
Yeah.
bruised and beaten.
But I would have like if I had to pick two, IMAX would probably be the better.
Oh,
experience.
yeah, hands
100%.
down, hands down, yeah.
I also find the 40X screen is so small.
Mm-hmm.
If they were to combine it with IMAX, maybe. But I also don't.
I don't like being rocked.
Yeah.
it's
thrown
It
around.
doesn't feel like you're in the plane. You just feel like you're rocked. It's like, okay, I'm in this kind
Yeah.
of roller coaster, but doesn't feel like doesn't make you bring you closer to that film.
No,
Yeah,
no.
you know?
And you feel further away with 40X because the screen is smaller.
100%.
But it is fun being kind of just shaken around and moved. And
It's fun as
Right.
like a party thing with a group of friends.
Yeah.
100%.
also, I just wish that, when those fans are on, I'm like, hey, can we just keep these fans on the whole movie? Because it was just nice having a
Yeah.
breeze in here because it was so
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun, though. Shay, you had a good time, too, right?
Oh, I
We've
love
seen
it.
a bunch of 40X.
We've seen a few 40X films, but this was a great experience because this felt like a ride at like a theme park or something. It
Yeah.
was nuts. Yeah.
Trailers. Let's get to some trailers this week. Trailers. We got a bunch of trailers in the last week and a half. Let's start with Black Adam, which we finally got our first full look at the Dwayne Johnson superhero film coming out later this year. Shay, what were your thoughts on Black Adam?
I thought the trailer was okay.
Okay, you seem very confident about it.
I don't know. It didn't. it didn't like I was seeing all the praise over it on the internet, and I was like, oh, okay.
I think it was a warm reception, but it wasn't like a shit.
But compared to like what DC films on average get, like how they usually get a reaction to what I saw, I was like, oh, people are saying this looks pretty cool.
You think it was a better reaction than what though? Like other DC
like the DCEU films.
Oh yeah,
not like the Batman.
No, okay,
no. And I saw you guys talking about it too. That you guys really liked it as well. I thought it was okay. There's just some parts to me that seemed still very cheesy and silly, and I don't know. I don't know if I buy into it yet.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like the same world that Shazam would be into.
No, or the DCEU,
or the DCEU. So I'm curious. I also found the scene of him flying beside the planes kind of weird looking. I don't know. It looked kind of like off a little bit, but
it looks very similar to Iron Man.
Yeah, I'm down for, but I think Iron Man made it look better.
Oh yeah, in 2008.
Yeah, and I'm just curious to see what this is. I'm down for it, obviously.
My biggest gripe is for everything The Rock represents in this, or Dwayne Johnson represents in Black Adam as like this superhero, real life physical being. His acting ability suffers from his acting ability because he's not playing Black Adam how he's supposed to be playing.
He's playing Dwayne Johnson.
He's playing Dwayne Johnson in a costume.
Right.
And that's the problem I have with this movie. Visually it looks great. Like we see Atom Smasher, we see Dr. Fate and Hawkman. So visually it looks great. It gave me vibes of Marvel. It's like, oh, this is the first real like DC movie where the visuals really stand out to me.
Yeah.
And they have like that feel. But it's Dwayne Johnson playing such a serious role, such a serious character. That's hard to believe.
It gave me Hercules vibes as well too, because it's a very similar. Like, oh, his family's taken, then he gets his curse, and now he's this character again. He looks like Black Adam, but I also think that's kind of where it begins and ends.
Yeah,
and I'm hoping we're proved wrong once this movie comes out because I want it to be good.
I just don't see it because Dwayne is just Dwayne. Like from his presence in films to his presence outside on social media.
Oh my god, the Game Awards! It's not the Game Awards. The Summer Games Fest.
Summer Games Fest. Guy, so he'll never evolve past it because that persona,
that's his brand,
makes him the most money. And even the amount of work he does, how is he able to make Black Adam and then jump to do this and jump to do that and jump over here and there? And like
he's always working.
He's always working, and I just don't see him taking the time to really focus on one specific thing and giving it his all.
Right, and this movie is like 15 years in the making.
He gave it his
too.
all, but he gave it his all in terms of physical presence, not the acting ability. He should have an accent if he was giving it his all.
Exactly.
You know, he's not Tom Cruise and Valkyrie here.
No, oh god. Do you think we see him drinking some Terramana tequila or some Zoa energy drinks?
He'll probably pass it. There'll be a bar somewhere, and he's like, "Is that Terramana?" No,
I don't drink.
He crushes the person's head.
It's like that scene in Tropic Thunder where he's walking around. He's like, "Thank God I got this booty sweat on me." And then maybe we'll see some of that. I don't know. I hope it's good, but I'm also a little Rock fatigued of his acting sometimes. Like I feel like we're just getting the same thing over and over again with him.
Yeah,
and I like The Rock, but like sorry, Rock, if you're listening. The charm is wearing off a little bit on me.
Yeah, he's like Ryan Reynolds at this point for me.
It's like where you're like, okay, like we know your shtick, type of thing. Also, when he's just like, whenever he's, the hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change, I'm like, I'll be honest,
Relax.
Rock, we don't really have a DC universe right now of movies that are really pumping out.
You know that meme
just
of
you right now,
you know that meme of like the guy, like it's an animated meme of like the guy with like he's got the champagne bottle and he's like biting the metal.
Oh yeah, and he's like
going crazy,
cheering, and he's
only on third place still.
Yeah.
Right.
That's kind of what this is.
Yeah,
like, the Rock is still at the bottom.
It's like the hierarchy of power of the DC universe is about to change. I'm like, yeah, but dude, like we don't really even have a Justice League right now, man. So who are you fighting? We don't have a Superman. And he's like, yeah, I have the powers of Superman. And he's like, what's different about me is that I kill people. I'm like, dude, I'll be honest with you. Our Superman kills people too.
You kill a lot of people.
Our Batman kills a lot of people. Like it's just so funny that even at the Summer Games Fest, he said like in the trailers, like I kill people. And it's like, yeah, but like most superheroes kill people in movies now. So it's just interesting that I'm like, that's not going to make you different.
And also in the trailer, it didn't just, like, it seemed like he was just killing bad guys.
Yeah,
so
and it's like
that's fine.
it makes it seem like he's more badass. Like he's a badass. I'm like, yeah, the Man in Black. I'm like, dude, like you're trying to attribute legends to Black Adam, who I know is a popular character, but I'm like, but he's not.
Yeah.
He's not a top tier character. Like you're going to make him more known because you're playing him. But he is not a character that people are just like, we need a Black Adam movie. No, give us a fucking Superman movie, Warner Brothers.
100%. But he is a pretty big. He's pretty big in the DC world. In the
Yeah,
sense of
but I mean, like
a
in
presence.
top of mind of people's minds.
Yeah,
like no one's thinking about Black Adam.
No.
You know, it's more like fans of DC know who he is, but general audiences I don't really know who he is. They'll be like, oh, he's Dwayne Johnson.
And then you realize he's connected to Shazam.
Yeah.
But they're not in the same world. What?
Yeah,
And there's no plans yet.
No, it's so confusing.
The other trailer we got this week, so we got our first look at the Mike Hulu series, the Mike Tyson Hulu series with Trevante Rhodes playing Mike. Again, we were just talking about the Jamie Foxx movie that is now going to be a series, and now we have another series.
I didn't know
So-
about this one.
I didn't know about this one either.
Yeah, me neither.
I thought it was Jamie Foxx when I'm like, oh, look at this, and I play. I'm like, that's not Jamie Foxx.
Oh, wow, Jamie Foxx looks
We wouldn't even
really
know.
different.
When we looked it up on IMDb, it still said what? Pre-production?
Yeah.
It's like, I remember Jamie Foxx saying, yeah, I put on all this weight to work out.
Yeah, and
like,
even in Spider-Man, he looked a lot more slow, right?
And then this movie's like this movie went from a movie to a series, which is, not a great sign.
Yeah, and we don't have a director yet either.
I don't know.
Is it being made in secret? It's a Mike Tyson film. guys.
Yeah, I think Jamie Foxx. Like,
It's not that you gotta keep that secret.
we'll see what happens. We got a new trailer for Nope, which surprisingly we did not see in front of Jurassic World Dominion. I'll start off. I was not a fan of this trailer, and I liked the first trailer for Nope, but this trailer for some reason for me did not feel like it was. Now that we see more of the story, and it's like, oh, okay, they're trying to sell an audience to see a spaceship here. Like, I don't know, just something about it. Now the curtain was revealed, and it was 3 minutes long. I'm like, I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not. It's not interesting me.
Yeah, it also didn't grab me because I think the mystery of the first trailer really was like, wow, this one felt like it was again peeling behind the curtain a bit too much. Where I was like, oh, okay,
You show too much.
you showed a bit too
Like,
much.
that would have been the reveal
Showed your
in the
hand,
movie,
Yeah, and I think it's okay. I mean, it's hard to tell. Like I was hearing that we're hearing it super long, like it's 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
So there's got to be something compelling in there.
I would hope. I mean, Us, I think, was a great concept. It was a great maybe first 40 minutes of that movie,
Yeah.
and then I just kind of fell off of it. Get Out, I think, is still one of the greatest films in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But
Is Jordan Peele turning into M. Night Shyamalan?
No. I mean, we can't say that. And also because Shyamalan's career is very hit or miss. There are fans that are devout of his work. They'll love things like The Happening and so on and so forth. But on top of that, like it's hard to say that just in 3 films that he's going to become that, because Us is so phenomenal. And sorry, Get Out is so phenomenal. Us, first half strong, second half not so much for me. I can't say no based on a trailer is going to be a garbage film or anything like that.
No,
that's not how we
oh,
run.
no, but I just any excitement. I would have thought like I would have had the same excitement going into Us.
100%.
Where maybe it's because Us I wasn't so hot on, and then Nope, I'm like, this trailer's not doing it for me. I'm just curious to see how I'm going to feel once I see the movie.
I agree.
Which I'm sure will be great, but
Let's hope.
I hope. Do you have any thoughts on Nope?
Nope.
Blackbird, which is an Apple TV Plus series starring Taron Egerton and Paul Walter Hauser. We got our first look at that. Prey, which is the 20th Century Studios prequel Predator film. What did you guys think of this trailer?
I thought the trailer was pretty cool, actually.
I didn't watch the trailer. I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Yeah, it looks
I do
cool.
apologize.
Cool visuals.
I thought it looked neat.
And directed by Dan Trachtenberg.
You know, he did great with 10 Cloverfield Lane, despite the ending being a little weird. But I think he can create tension really well. And, all Predator films really rely on tension because you're being hunted.
Right.
So that level of suspense, I think, will be really cool to see. The Alien and Predator worlds are very interesting. They haven't had a hit in a very, very long time. So they keep trying.
Very long time.
They keep trying.
I feel like for Predator, all you need is the first film, really.
You also,
that's all you need.
Like you try to buy into it because this has taken place many, many years.
Yeah.
And
Before,
we're dealing with a being with superhuman strength It is the Predator, and he has technology.
Yeah, and they have spears.
And they have spears. How is this? I get it. You could be the biggest, baddest hunter
You could be the biggest, baddest caveman in the world
at that
but-
time. But there's no fucking way
Yeah,
you are
you're gonna
going
be
to go
goop
up
on the
against
floor.
the Predator. Like he has invisibility, unless he doesn't have it in this world. But I just don't.
No,
Yeah.
they in the trailer they do show that they're still like they have the
Okay.
invisibility. I mean, I did enjoy the one in was it 2014 or
2009?
2010 actually. Yeah,
Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody, the Predator is the one produced by Robert Rodriguez. I did enjoy that, like in the sense that like that was watchable,
Right.
So
And then we had the one a couple years ago, which is
not watchable,
not good at
not
all.
watchable at all. So let's hope.
We'll see what happens. We got our first look at Jenna Ortega as Wednesday as well too in that little trailer from the Netflix Geek Week. Strange World, which is a new Disney animated film coming out later this year, which I thought was a Disney Plus movie at first, but it looks interesting. But we'll see.
Yeah, I didn't. That trailer didn't grab me. Like,
It didn't grab me too much?
It just didn't like.
It's Jake
one?
Gyllenhaal, right?
Strange World, yeah.
Yeah,
Jake Gyllenhaal, right?
Jake Gyllenhaal's
Yeah.
in it. It just didn't give me the I want to watch this film.
Right.
It was just like I feel like I would watch this on Disney Plus.
Yeah, we'll wait for it to stream. But again, we'll see once it comes out. The Princess, which is the Joey King medieval times badass, I want to kick everyone's ass movie,
Yeah.
which is coming out later this summer.
I know
think so.
I know martial arts
Yeah.
in
The
Medieval
1400s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got Pinocchio, which dropped last week, but we didn't have an episode last week to talk about it. But we didn't get a look at Pinocchio though, which was interesting.
Except on the poster.
On the
You
poster.
just gotta do the enhance on there.
Yeah, and the screenshot that came out, like, oh, he looks exactly like the cartoon one, which is interesting to
Which
see.
is good. Good choice.
Out this week, we have a few different movies to look at. Lightyear is going to be blasting into theaters. Spiderhead is going to be available on Netflix, and Cha Cha Real Smooth is going to be on Apple TV Plus all this Friday. So there's a lot to watch this week. What are we watching though? Shay, I'm going to get you to start us off.
I watched Interstellar because I was preparing for Lightyear. I watched Lightyear.
They're not tied together, by the way. But
no.
Yeah.
And then Lightyear, and then Spiderhead. We already saw as well. We will have our review out
Sometime this
today
week.
or sometime this week. You know, just boom, it'll appear out of nowhere.
there'll be a spider on your head.
Oh no! We have Jurassic World Dominion, which we watched as well. Reviews after that. I also watched Training Day because it's a really great film.
I watched preparing for Jurassic World.
Jurassic
I watched
World, I was
watched
Training Day. Yeah, I'm like, oh, maybe this is how they train the dinosaurs. I don't know. Great movie. I love that movie.
T-Rex ain't got shit on me.
Exactly. And then I watched Horrible Bosses. I watched Obi-Wan Kenobi as well, and I kind of gave my mini review on the episode during Jurassic World Dominion.
Oh yeah, you gave your Obi-Wan review
Yeah, it was
on
good.
Jurassic
But
World.
slow. Yeah. Now I can find. I rewatched Miss Marvel with my family. They loved it. They had a great time with it. I'm so glad they enjoyed it. I've been playing a lot of Lego Star Wars Saga, and I'm trying to get that platinum trophy that Anthony has already in his possession. So
it was our Lightyear review. We talk about him. getting
yeah,
platinum,
so I'm hoping to get there, and then a show which can I say I watched it?
we could say we watch it, but we
But
cannot say anything
I can't
about
say
it.
anything about it, right?
Yeah.
It's on Apple TV Plus. It's called Loot, and that's it.
That's it, and it's going to be available on Apple TV Plus on the 24th of June. Yeah, so look forward to that. We will also be, I guess we could say that.
We can say this.
If you made it this far into the episode, we'll be talking with Alan Yang and Matt Hubbard, who are the creators of the show and the writers of the show and the executive producers of the show. We'll be talking with them, and that interview will most likely be going live next week to coincide with the release of the show.
Yeah.
I'm going to go next just to shake things
Oh
up.
man, I wanted to go.
Anthony, I want you
Mine's
to
the quickest.
I want you to end. Oh, mine's gonna be fast. Trust me. I'm done.
Why?
Like Shay, I watched a lot of space movies in preparation of Lightyear. So I watched Interstellar, The Martian, First Man, and then eventually we got to watch Lightyear. Loot, like Shay said, also been watching that. Spiderhead, we'll have a review out, like Shay said. Jurassic World Dominion, we did see, and you could hear us talk all about it. And then everything else, Obi-Wan, Miss Marvel, we've spoken about. Been replaying God of War. Just in anticipation of hopefully getting a release date for that game soon. I love the game. It's been so great going back to it for the first time in a few years. It looks absolutely gorgeous still, and it literally looks and plays like it is a game from this generation. So if you have not played it yet, go play it. It's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. Anthony,
Oh, now it's my turn.
it's your turn now.
That
And
was pretty
take us
quick.
home.
I'm not gonna lie. That was quick. You know what? I haven't watched anything this week.
Thank you so much, Anthony.
Yeah, so a lot of things you're gonna hear reviews for. So Spiderhead, Lightyear, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Jurassic World, and yes, I platinum my Star Wars Lego.
How many hours,
Skywalker.
man?
I spent 107 hours.
Woo!
That's a lot of hours, but how I worked it was usually in the morning when I wake up to wake up my brain. I play an hour, so I kind of like do that before I do a workout or anything like that. So I'll play it, and then slowly I got there, and it took some time, but I eventually got in platinum that goddamn Legos. And Legos, if you ever play any type of Lego franchise game, there's a lot of collecting.
You're in it for the long haul, man.
Characters,
A lot of
this,
grinding.
This was, all the Star Wars ever made, and there's a lot of characters, and there's a lot of bricks, and there's a lot of ships, and there's a lot of fighting. So I'm glad I'm finished. And I said to Daniel, I don't think I'll ever go back.
Did you uninstall it from your PS5?
No, I wanted to keep it there just as a reminder of my hard work.
Yeah.
And then I started playing another Star Wars game, which was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which I find interesting. It feels like this could be a great game, but there are things about it, especially with the mechanics
Yes.
of the
100%.
100%.
is just bothering the hell out of me. I know, Daniel, you gave me yesterday, we were talking, you gave me like these controls to
To remap it, to
remap
make it
it,
play better,
but
yeah.
it's still stiff. The frame rate's really bad on it. Like I can really feel like it stutters on a PlayStation 5.
Yeah. Are you playing performance or are you playing resolution?
I didn't change it to performance. I just stuck with the normal
Okay.
mode, whatever.
Yeah, because see if you're on the 60 frames one, you should make it better.
It should, because I heard it doesn't. It just adds more frame rate issues.
I played when I played it in January. I'm like, it looked better. So hopefully, maybe see if that
Right.
makes a change for you.
What I do like about this story is just the lore behind it, the creatures, but it also feels small. I don't feel like it can just go and destroy things. I feel like I have this character that's super weak, but I'm getting there with the strength and abilities.
Yes, and the power, the Jedi abilities you'll
I'm
unlock.
trying to like see into the future. Is he still going to be the character that he is now? Is he going to be so fluid where I can, like God of War? And when you picked up God of War and you played as Kratos, you knew you felt like the power.
Yeah.
You don't feel any power in this character,
Especially because it's a hard game. Like
And
they
it's
made it
hard
like a Dark Souls game. man.
And I don't play hard games, so I kept it to normal because I
Yeah.
get frustrated. But even on normal, it was friggin'
tough.
hard. I went to Dothmere, and these fucking guys came out of
You can't go
nowhere.
to Dothmere right away.
Well, I did. I went to the second planet.
That's
It told
Glutton for pain over here.
the guide told me. The guide told me. And
like
I got
Jedi
a double
tech still.
lightsaber, which was dope.
Yeah.
But
It's cool. You can like fight with it differently. It's really cool.
It feels like the arms are like just so like marionette arms.
Yeah.
The legs are very marionette, but the body is just so stiff in the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm not a fan of the spawn like save points. Like,
No,
it should
the
just be
meditation
automatic
points, yeah.
saving.
also the respawning of characters that bothers me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like if I rest, why is everyone coming back?
yeah. I
Or if you
get it.
don't give me a rest, give me more options for health.
Yeah.
Why is it that we have to live in this difficulty?
Yeah.
Just it's a Star Wars game. Don't make it like into this.
No, make it fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was my. I have to go back and finish it.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna finish it before the second game comes out.
Yeah, because I forced myself like earlier this year. I'm like, listen, I need to finish this game because I think you and I were liking it.
Yeah.
and I ended up liking it by the time it was done. But I was just like, there's just things here that I'm hoping that they said with the sequel that they got a lot of feedback to make it better to play.
Yeah.
Better, like more like accessible. And just gameplay wise, that I hope they tighten up, because I think a sequel to this game will be fantastic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great groundwork that's done here, but like Anthony's experiencing now, like, and I experienced before, it's like, and Shay, it's like you're feeling this game almost fighting back against you.
100%.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, why is this game punishing me? Why is this game fighting back? Like, let me just play it. And I get you can't go in hack and slash. You have to be a bit more methodical, but there's a lot of things where it's just like, okay, but why is the game design kind of just like this, or why is the map is hard to read? It's like there's a lot of like
The map is
things.
very hard to read, man.
Very hard to read. The level design feels the same on every planet. It's
Right.
like you go up, down, you go,
And then you
around,
find shortcuts back.
and you find shortcuts back, and it doesn't feel like you can really open yourself up in this world.
Yeah.
Because when you see these planets, they're so lavish, especially the opening of this game where you're in that junkyard.
Yeah, you're in the
You
mining
see
thing.
like these huge ships in the distance. It just felt whoa. But then when you get onto these other planets, they they feel the same. Like you're going up, down, side to side.
Yeah.
Up, down, side to side. And you don't feel like you're actually exploring a planet.
Right. I'm hoping there's a lot more variety in the sequel. And I hope that, Respawn is a phenomenal studio, and I think a sequel to this game will polish a lot of that, and I'm hoping that it's a lot fun to play as well too. Any other final thoughts this week? I mean, you're going to be hearing a lot of our voices this week, so anything else that you guys want to talk about before we wrap up?
I think that's it, love.
Let's take it home. Make sure you listen to all of the amazing episodes and interviews we're going to be having this week on the show. Again, we love what we're doing here. We want to do it forever, and your support means the world to us. Because as always, you can catch a brand new episode of our show every single Monday, and watch out throughout the week for everything we have dropping. Biggest thing I want to say is make sure you're following us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd at The Movie Podcast. That is where you're going to be able to see everything that we have planned to come out this week, in the next couple of weeks, the next couple of years. That is where you want to follow to stay on top of all of that. Don't forget, you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, join our Discord, which we're having great conversations in right now, and right into the show at
hello@themoviepodcast.ca.
Check out our show notes for all of those links and more. That was This Time with the Movie Podcast.
And we'll see you next.